do I know Muriel, and she knows me well.
What? Well, it's turned into a lovely day.
Hey, lucky you, lucky me.
I'd like to raise the sails again, watching for the whales again, and never have to say I wish that I had done the things that I can't do when I'm too old to play.
When we last left you, I was extolling the virtues of this amazing anchorage in the Exumas at the south end of Hawksbill Cay. I was happy it was empty when I arrived, and happier still that it remained that way for days afterward. There used to be park moorings in that ribbon of dark water in the distance, but apparently things have silted up such that those moorings have been removed. And it must be the thought that the place is too shallow that keeps people away. This is how it looks at low tide. I had a great time walking these sandy flats, to say nothing of rowing to the many other beaches here. If you want to come in from the moorings outside, just favor the island to the south side of the entrance. At mid to high tide, you'll have at least 7 to 8 feet of water. At least that's how it was in 23. Then there's a 15 to 20 foot hole where I'm anchored here. The current does get a little vigorous through here, so at times a second anchor is a good call. But as you can see, it's all worth a little effort. Man, I wish I was still there right now. A few people ding it in from the moorings outside and just check things out, but finally, one came in that I knew. And here comes Rob.
Hey!
You caught me at last! Rob from New Hampshire. We saw him, we met you first.
Swans Island.
Swans
Music
Island
Festival.
at the Sweet Cherry Music Festival. That's right.
Yes, I made a debut on that video.
You did, you did.
Little orange hat guy.
We had a fun little snorkel on the small reef here. Then Rob took me over to see his boat. It's a Chuck Paine designed Apogee 50. Wow, that's pretty sweet looking. I always fear that I'm going to be ruined by seeing larger, nicer boats, but so far it's never seemed to happen. Perhaps not being able to afford any of them has helped a little bit.
Cabbage.
All right, it's pretty good. Oh, I always wanted this, the grooved ceiling.
Yeah. They redid it, so I think they had.
You got a Pullman.
Real well.
A Pullman. Oh man, I love it. More days and nights of solitude, tranquility, and explorations of all things great and small followed. I'm working on a book project, and it was the perfect place for that, as long as I didn't look outside and get distracted too much. This is cumulatively day 6 here, and up until now, nobody has come in other than a few dinghies to look around and leave. But now, we have company. And I rode over and met them. They're very nice. They invited me over to dinner. I hope they'll let me bring the GoPro. I'll ask them. And we'll get to meet them. They want to go to Cuba and Guatemala and all kinds of interesting places. So I'm sure they've got some stories to tell. Well, off to dinner we go. I hope they don't mind cameras. We'll find out. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was a nightmare.
Perfect. What's the channel?
It's called Acoustic Sailing because my wife is a guitar player, a very good acoustic guitar player.
Who is she?
Amazing.
Muriel Anderson.
This is fantastic.
You know her?
Not only do I know Muriel, and she knows me well,
What?
but Jess from Guitars in the Classroom said that I absolutely had to meet you while you were in Maine, and it didn't happen.
You're kidding!
How's that for a small world?
Oh my God!
Welcome aboard.
Well, there's a moment.
Big fan of Muriel.
That's astounding.
And long-time co-elbower, colleague, friend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah, I was just asking about his sailing experience. I figured he'd done a pile, and he starts off with
Well, so I bought a 20-foot sailboat for $800 in Stockholm. I took off for Africa without knowing how to sail.
That's gutsy.
Got a lot of experience. Well, gutsy is the word we use now. At the time, it was stupid. And I was like, no, lots of 20-footers have done the Bay of Biscay. It's fine.
How was the Bay of Biscay in your 20-footer?
Did not end up going that way.
Oh.
I ended up going the canals, and by the time I got to the canal, the shaft on my engine, on my outboard went. I didn't know you needed an anode. I was like, that's so weird.
And one of those many little learning experiences.
So I ordered, many little learning experiences in the North Sea and 2 knots of current. I was like, this is not going well. So I got towed in. And it turns out it was my last sail because I ended up selling the boat. But came back to the States and picked up a boat for $1. Even cheaper. On the condition that the former owners could use it 3 weeks a year.
Nice. That's a good deal. I would take that deal.
They were the best part of the deal. It was fantastic. It was a total win-win. And I put about 10,000 miles on that boat.
Nice.
Maine, Cuba, back to Maine.
Oh, you've been to
Bahamas.
Cuba before.
Yeah, and then went down the thorny path down to Trinidad, and then west all the way to Guatemala. So ended up selling that boat there. And so now this boat, I'm going to go back and complete the trip, right? Do the south coast of Cuba and then go across to Mexico. Because I haven't been out to the Banco Chinchorro yet, the atolls that are out there.
I have no idea about those.
Yeah, so they're the only atolls in this hemisphere. And there are 4 of them. 3 of them are in Belize and 1 of them's in Mexico. And they're
Really?
just this reef surrounded by 2,000 foot of sea.
Wow, I had no idea.
And
This is on the Atlantic side?
it's on the Caribbean side. If you look at Mexico, directly east of, and southeast, I guess, of Cancun and all that.
Okay.
So you got Isla Mujeres sticking out there, Cancun, all that good stuff. And then south of that is the Banco Chinchorro. And then as you get down to Belize, you got 3 more atolls, including that's where the Blue Hole is,
Oh, yeah.
that Cousteau was all lit up about. So it's in one of those. And then you keep going and you're up the Rio into Guatemala and all that. So
And he says he used to work with a capo company and worked with Muriel. He's known her longer than I have.
well, I'm not pulling rank, but yeah. Muriel's super duper great. Huge heart. Saw her for the first time in 1990, I think. Downers Grove. And yeah, we just kept bumping into each other at conferences and stuff. And then I ended up working for Kaiser, and we'd see each other at the NAMM show, and we'd sponsor the All-Star Guitar Night.
Oh, what a great show that
We
is.
just got to give a shout out to Jess, though.
Oh, Jess.
Because
yes.
Jess was the one who said, you got to meet these people. It's so great.
Jess being
Muriel's met somebody.
Jessica Barron of
Jess
Guitars
Barron
in the
of
Class.
Guitars in the Classroom.
Yes.
Oh, such a good human being.
And a great organization.
That night was peaceful with gentle southerly breezes, but the forecast was for the wind to veer north and get much stronger. Randall helped me re-anchor between these islands to hide from waves coming in the entrance while he stayed where he was.
Well, I woke up to find that Randall's gone. Probably realized he was on a lee shore when the wind swung around to the north and took off. And I'm now in the situation that when I pick up that anchor, I'm going to go right onto a shallow over here quick before I can get back to the cockpit and grab the tiller, put it in gear, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do, you can already see I've got a second line out, and that line goes all the way to shore and is tied to shore. So I'm going to pull this tight, bring the bow over. Then when I pick up the anchor, the boat cannot swing out that way. And I'll slip tie that second line so I can cast it off quick. Pick up the anchor while it's still attached, cast it off, put it in gear, and it should be out. Woohoo! There's the float. We're free. Yeah. A bit of a challenge. I didn't film it, but when I picked up the stern anchor, the boat just swung with the current. Changed everything. I
was going to sail south on the strong northerlies, but the sea looked really heaped up and messy, so I re-anchored to my old spot and stayed the night. The next morning, a beautiful sunrise lit my way out. Having a lovely sail here on our way to Staniel. And grocery stores. I'm out of everything like fresh meat, fresh vegetables. Having ourselves a lovely sail here, and I'm getting into playing music while I'm sailing, which is kind of nice. Well, it's turned into a lovely day, and we are very nearly there. That's Staniel Cay right over there. It's about 26 miles from Hawksbill to Staniel Cay. Randall went all the way to Georgetown, but I kept hearing there were almost 400 yachts there, so I wanted no part of that. What I did want was provisions, and I made a beeline to the only stores on the island, which, as it turns out, are side by side to each other. All their supplies come from Nassau, which start out as expensive. Well, my bags were a little heavier, but my wallet is a lot lighter. Oof, sure beats winter in the States. I'll leave you with Randall playing Lucky Me, a song by Canadian band Great Big Sea.
He was born a sailor's son. Nothing came easy or free. Suffered the squalls, all the rises and falls, everything else in between. He said storms always fade after they've had their way. It's never as bad as it seems, as long as the river still runs to the sea. Hey, lucky you, lucky me. Hey, lucky you, lucky me. Thought for a moment she'd have to grow up so fast. School beauty queen with a child at 16. She swore that her fortunes had passed. But blessings can hide in the strangest disguise, and I think that she would agree. As long as the river still runs to the sea. Hey, lucky you, lucky me. Well, hey, lucky you, lucky me. Hey, look at me in the spotlight, with my ripped jeans and rock and roll flair. Feeling so cool, but I'd be such a fool, singing for no one out there. So hey, take a bow, every band needs a crowd, and I've got a song we can sing. As long as the river still runs to the sea. Hey, lucky you, lucky me. Hey, lucky you, lucky me.
Sweet. Whose song is that?
Great Big Sea, name of a band that used to rock Canada, Maritimes.
Don't know it. I don't get out much.
They're good. They're good.